When we talk about mental health in Africa, the conversation almost always goes to stigma or maybe awareness campaigns. And those things are important, for sure. But what if the biggest problem, the one affecting millions of people, isn't about what they think, but what they just can't get? Let's dig into that. So that leads us to the big question right up front. What is the real barrier here? What's actually stopping people from getting the help they so desperately need? Well, the answer? It points to a total breakdown, not of people's will to get better, but of the system that's supposed to help them. Okay, get ready for this number, because it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. 75%. That's how many people in low-income regions who need mental health care get absolutely no treatment. Zero. We're not talking about bad treatments or not enough treatments. We're talking about none. That isn't a gap. That's a chasm. And this chart, wow, it just lays that chasm bare. Take a look. In so many African countries, you're looking at less than one psychiatrist for every 100,000 people. Less than one. Now compare that to high-income regions, where you have more than 10 for that same number of people. It's a catastrophic shortage of professional care. It's like a massive foundational crack in the entire system. So yeah, we're not just talking about statistics on a chart. This is a system that's been pushed to its absolute breaking point. It's just not able to meet the needs of its own people. And if we zoom in on where that pressure is the most intense, it's on one group in particular: young people. They are right at the sharpest edge of this crisis, where all these huge forces, academic, social, and economic, are just colliding. Just to put this in perspective, let's pull back and look at the global picture for a second. Get this. 1 in 3 university students around the world report symptoms of anxiety or depression. Mental health issues are literally the leading cause of disability among young people. And the most heartbreaking part, suicide is a leading cause of death for that 15 to 29 age group. This is a problem everywhere. Okay, so now let's bring that huge global issue right back to Africa. What you're seeing is that rapid urbanization in huge cities. Think Nairobi, Lagos, Johannesburg. It's cranking up the pressure even more. The insane pace of life, the cutthroat competition, it adds this whole other layer of really intense stress. It really is like a pressure cooker. You've got intense competition at school. You've got the rising cost of living that creates so much financial anxiety. Then you layer on the constant social comparison, thanks to social media. And on top of all that, you have these huge family expectations. Is it any surprise that more and more young people are turning to substance use just to cope? Look, I know data and statistics can feel a bit distant, so to really get what this system failure looks like on a human level, we need to see it through one person's eyes. So, let me introduce you to Kwame. He's a university student in Ghana, and he's dealing with all those pressures we just laid out. And then, something pretty normal happens, something that could happen to any of us. He fails an exam. But for Kwame, it's not just a bad grade. It's more than that. This deep feeling of shame starts to build up. And that shame, it starts to feed this constant gnawing anxiety that just grows and starts to cloud everything else in his life. He's smart. He knows something is seriously wrong, and he does exactly the right thing. He reaches out. He starts looking for help. But what does he find when he looks for help? He runs smack into the broken system we were just talking about. The nearest specialist, hours away. The cost for just one appointment, that's a whole month's worth of living expenses for him. And even if, by some miracle, he could manage all that, the system is totally fragmented. There's no follow-up, no continuous care. All those shocking statistics? Well, for Kwame, that's not a statistic, it's his reality. So what happens? He stops looking. He gives up. And this is so important. He didn't give up because he didn't want help. He gave up because the system itself is simply not designed to reach someone like him. And that's it, right there. Kwame's story just perfectly illustrates the whole point of this. The problem is not a lack of demand. He was actively demanding care. The real barrier is the complete lack of infrastructure to actually deliver that care. But what if that wasn't the end of the story? What if we could just rewrite that ending for Kwame and for millions of others? This is where things start to change. This is where we can build a whole new kind of access. And here it is. It's a company called AfriPharm Health. And the idea behind it is so simple, but it's absolutely revolutionary. Think about it. Kwame was never the unreachable one. The system was unreachable. So this new model, It flips that entire idea on its head. Now, the system reaches you. Okay, so how does this actually work? What does it look like in practice? Let's break down the before and after and see the kind of difference this could make for someone like Kwame. It all starts with something really simple. AI-powered daily check-ins on your phone. They just track your mood, and over time they start to identify patterns. The cool thing is, this system is smart enough to flag what might just look like academic stress as a potential risk. Once a risk is flagged, a real person gets an alert. It triggers a human intervention. And from there, a virtual care network connects you directly to a licensed psychiatrist, completely smashing those old barriers of distance and geography. And this chart just lays out the transformation so clearly. Before, Kwame's symptoms were just ignored until they spiraled into a crisis. After, patterns are detected super early. Before, access was delayed for months if he was lucky. Now, a specialist gets involved in a matter of days. You go from these fragmented, dead-end consultations to care that continues seamlessly. It turns a completely uncertain outcome into a supported, guided recovery. So you see, this is way bigger than just one app or one person's story. This is about building the actual infrastructure for the future of healthcare across the entire continent. And the big takeaway here is really simple when you think about it. For decades, the big push was for access to information. We've kind of solved that. But the great challenge of this next decade, the thing that's really going to define progress, it's going to be defined by access to care. And this is why it matters so much. Because when you fix this access problem for just one student, one Kwame, you're doing so much more than helping that one person. You actually change the future for their entire household. You help stabilize the future workforce. And when you do that enough times, you literally start to shift an entire economy. That is the incredible power of building infrastructure that's designed to reach everyone.